Hello and welcome to another episode of Bicara Supply Chain Podcast. This is Nurhadi, your host. Today we're going to talk about the important role of inventory management in the supply chain. And with me now, Paul Denneman. He is a senior consultant specializing in supply chain at Mutatis Mutandis, based in Netherlands. So thank you for joining us, Paul, and welcome to Bicara Supply Chain.
Hi, Nurhadi. It's great to be here and to tell people in what I have to say about inventory management.
Okay, so before we start, can you please tell us a bit about yourself and your professional background?
Yes, I can do so. I'm in supply chain for I think almost 30 years. I studied industrial engineering and management sciences and specialized in at that time logistics, but currently in supply chain management. Since a long time, I'm also an APICS Master Instructor in all the 3D programs, and I providing trainings all over Middle East, Europe, and Africa, and doing that quite often now. But my main role is advising companies how to set up their supply chain, and it's mostly in companies where regulations or legislations plays an important role. Currently, I'm setting up the supply chain, internal supply chain for Lonza in the Netherlands, and that is a pharmaceutical in cell and gene technology. But I work for a lot of other pharmaceuticals and other companies.
Okay, so talking about the inventory, Paul, my first question is how does inventory management affect to the supply chain?
Yep. First of all, it's always that if we do not have inventory, we cannot produce, we cannot deliver. So that's the main role of supply chain. Is that it should be there. So inventory, it's basically what we manage in the supply chain. We move goods from A to B, and we do something with it in production. So inventory, we should not have it, but we need it to fulfill the function of the supply chain.
Yeah. And so in your opinions, what are the best approaches in managing inventory?
In my opinion, if we look to inventory management in general, there are a lot of ways of doing it. What I believe is that you first of all standardize your approach in your management, in your way of managing your supply chain. And how can you standardize it? By having, let's say, inventory calculations based on, for instance, reorder point, or based on MRP algorithms, which are giving all the time the same output. On the other hand, if I look to inventory management, I would say do not treat your inventory all the same. Because if we are looking to two parameters which are important, one is the value of my items, of my inventory, and the other one is the risk, the supply chain risk we are having. If the value is low and the risk is low, don't spend time on managing it. Buy it, keep it on stock. Nobody will see it, and not having it will give you problems. On the other hand, if we are looking to that type of inventory, what is having value but not a supply chain risk, that is typically the inventory where, let's say, our procurement department should work with. They must be able to get it, but they can use it because there's value inside of it, to tender it, to do some things with it, to get nice packages. Then I go to the other type, that inventory where we do not have a lot of value inside of it, but what we call the pain in the ass of the supply chain manager. We have risk with it. That should be on the radar, on his daily scorecard on his laptop for the supply chain manager. He should look that it's there, and that are typically those elements which we do not think of. They are not in list, but it's the screws we miss to to finalize the product. I've seen it with a 3D printer manufacturer that complete production was stopped because they didn't have the standard power cord for the EU. Why not? Take care that it's there. It's not value, but it's stopping your production. Mm-hmm. And the last category, of course, is where we have value, but also risk. And usually that is the combined effort for, let's say, top management. They should look at that type of inventory all the time. You make agreements with suppliers, usually that it's sole supplying, single source supplying, or dual source supplying. You have to make a strategy on it. So assigning it to categories makes your work, your life a lot easier, because 80% is in that category where you should not worry about, where there's no risk and no value. Mm-hmm. So that's my opinion in approach of managing inventory. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So now talking about the technology, Paul. So what's your view on using technology to improve the inventory management? Do you think it would help companies in reshaping the way they manage the inventory?
I think there are options we can use in managing our inventory by using technology. Of course, if we are looking to the physical inventory, we can use things like RFID to identify what is there, but also to secure that it's not being, let's say, spoiled, stolen, or missed. So we can track our inventory in an easy way. RFID is a very good option for that. On the other hand, if we are looking in capturing our inventory, of course, we are still in scanning, in barcoding, that we identify what is there and that it's indeed on stock. Because what is crucial in inventory management is that my physical stock is correct, because every system needs an accurate inventory, because otherwise it's garbage in, garbage out. So barcode technology, but I've also seen in a lot of warehouses that they are using voice as a technology, light, but all those types of technology to make it that the human error is away. In managing the inventory, you have what is in most of the ERP systems, they do not have accurate tools to manage inventories and to set parameters. What I see a lot happening in information systems like SAP or Oracle, we have a field for our safety stock. People are trying to set it up once and then they forget it. They do not do anything with reorder points of minimum order quantities. That should be managed. There is also software on the market what can help you in that part. And most of the times, if you look to the number of articles you are managing, if it's below 1,000, then you can do it by using Microsoft Excel, the old way. But if it's getting more than 1,000, then you need something to get calculations on what your demand was and what a proposed good solution is for your inventory levels in that one. So yes, there is indeed technology what is there. If you currently look in what is, let's say, what are the hypes, then of course what we are seeing is Internet of Things and big data. Yes, we can use those elements in inventory management to make it visible what is where and when in the chain. What we still miss at this stage is what is, let's say, in transit, what is in transportation. So we have it in our warehouse, we bought it ex works in China, and it's on its way for 6 weeks, and we do not know that it's there. Although we are responsible, although we have the risk, we do not see and we do not take it into account in our system. And I think there will be one of the elements we could work on in the future.
Okay, wonderful. So thanks for sharing, Paul.
Okay, thank you for being there, and hope to see you and speak you again in the future.
Okay, see you and goodbye.